at that.
That is going to be delicious. Hello everyone, now welcome back. I'm just about to go across the field and do a little bit more coastal foraging. But before I do, I have something amazing to show you. It's in the fridge. Now you may remember when I last went out, I got some gaper clams. So what I've done is put the gapers into some salty water, kind of the same as the sea, hopefully, and I left them there overnight to purge, to get rid of the mud, which is in their siphons. So we have a look at this fella. Whoa! Okay, that is the siphon right there. And I wasn't expecting it to do that. How weird is that? So it's sitting down in the mud, like that, siphon pointing up, and it's filtering the seawater for plankton. That's how it's surviving, and I'll give it a poke and it goes back. So basically, plan is, I've got what, 1, 2, 3, 6 gaper clams here. Not quite enough for a meal. So I'm gonna head off back down to the creek, see if I can get a few more clams. I don't know, maybe another 6 or 7, and then I've got enough for a decent meal, hopefully. And I'm really intrigued to see how they taste. Really keen just to get back out there and enjoy nature as my kind of hours, mental health, physical health during this lockdown period. So come and join me, let's see what we can find. See all the swirling? Just saw a dorsal fin. It looks like the mullet are in. Look at them. It's a whole school. So many mullet. I haven't seen a fish in too long. They come so shallow, right up in the sort of 6 inches of water where I suppose the sun has been baking the mud and the water's nice and warm for them. The water temperature up here in the estuary is, you know, often a good 5, 6, 7 degrees warmer than it is out to sea. But it is time to try and find some supper. Tide's gone out enough now that I'm down on this mud, so let's look for some of those telltale holes. There's one, although that one's a bit small, so I'm just going to pop them in the mud, siphon up, so that when the tide comes back in, he'll be good to go. God, this one's really dark. Beauty. Wow. Giant one in here. Giant clam. Oh, come on. Just almost there. Oh. There he is. That's a beauty. 3 beauties. So, all so far. Look at them. Interesting, I've foraged these ones in a slightly different place. And they definitely have much darker shells. And they're also, generally speaking, much bigger. I don't think they've had that dieback I spoke about, because here it's much more sheltered. Something you notice being out here is the sheer number of bottles everywhere on the floor. This one looks quite old. It's kind of got a pirate feel to it, this one. I'd like to think it had rum in it once. You can see the birds just working everywhere in this area. They're just everywhere you go. There are prints. And the reason being, I mean, all these cockles, and you know, there's so much food here. For example, this cockle, a gull can grab that cockle, fly it up, you know, 30, 60 feet up in the air and drop it. And they do, and then they smash on the floor, they swoop down and gobble up the cockle inside. So, I mean, this is just such a vital ecosystem for so many species. Well, this has been, yet again, just the most peaceful experience being out here. You can just hear the birds, hear the mullet flicking their tails in the water. Nature's just going about its business. Got enough gaper clams now. I reckon I'm up to about 7 or 8. So I'm going to go inshore now and just grab some seaweeds to eat with the clams. I've just looked on this tiny little stretch of shore and I've seen about 5 delicious edible seaweeds. So starting over here, I've mentioned this in my videos a few times before. That is of course sea beet, and sea beet, it's absolutely delicious. It's kind of like spinach, but the leaves are much meatier and kind of slight salty taste. Much tastier, full of iron, delicious. What else have we got here? We have got loads of sea beet actually. If we come a bit lower, we usually find, here it is, rock samphire. So this stuff, just, you know, you kind of either love it or you hate it. I think it's absolutely delicious. Got a really zesty taste, somewhere between orange and lemon. It's absolutely fabulous. Some pennywort. This is pennywort, thick tasty leaves. Pennywort just tastes like a delicious salad, really. You cannot go wrong with pennywort. Here, this is sow thistle. It's in the daisy family. This one tastes quite a lot like dandelion, so you know, that kind of bitter taste. Quite bitter. Not my personal favourite, so I think today I'm going to go with pennywort, rock samphire and sea beet for my to go with my clams. Trying to pick the young tender leaves where possible. They are more tasty. The other thing that's great about sea beet is unlike spinach, it doesn't just wilt down to nothing. The leaves are much thicker and much hardier. I mean, look where they live. This is a harsh environment, so you can imagine the nutrients packed into them. Absolutely delicious. Rock samphire, again, the younger, tender leaves if possible. They're that much tastier. I like to pick them elevated as well, so they're less likely to be weed on by dogs. That's all we need. Not too much, mainly for flavour, although I find it's delicious as well. Just cooked down, it's delicious. That is going to be delicious. I just wanted to say a little bit about safety very quickly. We'll take a look up behind me. If we look up here above our pennywort, way up, this plant here, I think I'm right in saying, is cuckoo pint. And so the cuckoo pint plant, although I don't think the leaves are poisonous, certainly the berries are really toxic. And but bottom line is, if you're not sure about what you're eating, don't take the risk, or just, you know, have a tiny little bit. Also, likewise, with the gaper clams, if you look at them, they are really, really sharp on top. So be really careful if you do get the urge to go out and forage some of these after this video. Be really careful when you put your hand down into the mud. But you don't send it down really fast, you just go down really slowly and feel around carefully, because these will slice your finger up. Anyhow, they're the only really things to worry about. Obviously, just make sure you know the tides as well. I know today low tide is at 5:40, so you know it's still going out and there's no danger of, you know, coming in and getting my feet wet. So time to go home. I'll let the rest of those clams purge for about 2 or 3 hours just to get the mud out of their siphons, and then it's time to cook a delicious meal. So I'm back in the kitchen, everybody, and I'm absolutely intrigued to know what these clams taste like. I ended up with about 12. They've been purging overnight, so you're actually joining me 24 hours after the forage, which has been good. The purging, I think, was really important. Have a look at this. So you can see that is all the mud that the clams spat out of their siphons. So the plan for this evening is clams with pasta, white wine. I'm going to fry down some bacon and onions. Before I make this delicious pasta dish, I need to shuck the clams. Now, it's much easier to shuck the clams if you blanch them first. So I'm going to put them into boiling water just for half a minute, quickly take them out, get them in some cool water, and then they will be ready for shucking. So the idea isn't to cook the clams, it's just to sort of release that meat from the shell a bit, just blanch them just 30 seconds, and then they'll come out and we'll start shucking. That should do the trick. Okay. Shucking these clams couldn't be easier. Put the knife in, top where the siphon is, run it down the inside of the shell, open the shell up, and then there's this dark stuff. Basically that dark stuff needs to be peeled away from the siphon, and it just comes away really easily because it's been blanched. And all that there is edible. Take a knife, go the other side, round to the hinge. There we go. So that's all the clam meat. I know it looks a bit weird, but that apparently is really nutritious and really good for you. Holding the shells together, there is this adductor muscle, top and bottom, and that is basically a miniature scallop. You do not want to waste that. Just take the back of your knife and scrape it off. That is going to be delicious. It may seem silly, but you do not want to waste anything. That is clean, no waste at all. So clams are shucked. Look at the juices coming out of them. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if this dish has a name. I don't really know what it is, but it is going to involve frying down some bacon, some onions, some crushed garlic. It's going to involve some al dente spaghetti being mixed in with all that, some white wine, and then chucking some clams in with the clam juice. Don't forget, I've also got the wild leaves to enjoy as well. I reckon a few sprigs of marsh samphire are going to need to go in. So the stage really is set. Ultimately, I just cannot wait to see what these clams taste like, but I'm just excited to get going. I'm going to fry some bacon down. I might even get some cheeky harissa flakes in there. We'll see how we go. I'm just putting a load of things I like into a dish, and then we're just going to see what happens. There's the wine and the cranberries. So I'm just going to let that boil for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to chop the clams, get those in too. Oh yeah, yeah. In with the clams. Oh yes. Look. Oh yes. Well, here goes. At least I made it to the table this time. So, recap. Pennywort, rock samphire, sea beet, sow thistle, a range of wild plants there. And here we have my gaper clam, pasta, whatever you want to call it. What does it taste like? Sorry about these diabolical table manners. There is gaper clam there, almost a whole one, and it's got to go down the hatch. It's like squid. It's delicious. And these greens, just raw as can be. Stunning. So that's it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and please keep your comments coming and your feedback. It's really, really helpful and it's much appreciated. There's been some really valuable things in the comments section, and I'm really thankful that you appreciate the coastal foraging videos, and I'm already itching to get back out there and see what I can find, see what I can cook up. So yeah, thank you very much. But that is it for today. Stay safe. Cheers. Will it stand up against the harshest food critic around? What's it like, Chloe? You like it?
Yeah.
Pasta, correct. Do you like the meal? What does it taste like?
Pepper.
It does have pepper in. Can you taste clams?
Yeah.
Are they yummy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. What would you give it out of 10, Chloe?
Small.